Hello everyone, Jonas here with another replay for you. Today I actually have DarkForce versus Whiteraw. I just actually posted one a little bit ago with the first game between these two guys, and it was actually Whiteraw winning. So we'll have to see if DarkForce can even the score up, or will it be Whiteraw taking it 2-0. But here we go. We are going to be in the second game. Very interesting to see what DarkForce can do. He definitely has some very good ideas here. Did an early drop that actually cost Whiteraw his expansion on the last game, which was actually very smart. But Whiteraw was able to build a third base, get his third base saturated very early. He didn't lose any overlord or any probes to that drop, so he was able to saturate his second base, actually get way ahead in the worker count in the economy, and build up a massive army. When DarkForce attacked, he just got overwhelmed. So very bad ending for DarkForce, but the early start looked very promising for him. But we'll have to see if he can actually go the distance and finish it up. We are going to be on Xel'Naga Towers, which is a nice map. I actually prefer this map quite a bit. It's always very entertaining. Always brings some really good matches out against each other, or against the players you're watching. We are going to see an extractor first from DarkForce. Be entertaining to see if we can actually see a spawning pool or a extractor, or I'm sorry, a hatchery first from DarkForce. Last time he did a spawning pool first. He's going to do the same exact thing here, and possibly going to see expansion. He doesn't have the minerals quite yet, so I'm sure this is going to be a scout though, and that's exactly what it is going to be. Whiteraw not scouting yet, but he is making his way into the base of DarkForce right at this point. He's going to be able to see that there's not an early expansion, but he does see the spawning pool and the extractor up pretty early, so that indicates that he's going to have some speedlings on the field fairly fast. So he needs to be very careful with this probe not to lose it early on. Steals that minerals like he did last game as well, so it does a great job of doing that, being kind of annoying little pest there. And he's going to go right down here to this expansion to block it off as much as he can, which is always a very annoying move to deal with as a Zerg player. What you can do with this is even build a pylon down there to delay it even more, but we'll have to wait and see if he does do that or not. We do have a drone inside the base of Whiteraw. He's going to be able to see the cybernetics core and the gateway. One gas for Whiteraw. So he could expect the 4-gate possibly, since there's not going to be a second gas very early on. He definitely doesn't have to expect Stargate play, since there's only one gas up here. Now, it could still be a 3-gate expand build or something like that, but he definitely knows he doesn't have to worry about any error. I would really, doubt he would be going any type of like Phoenixes or Void Rays. This drone needs to be very careful. It might die if he doesn't get out of here, and it does finally get away in time of the Stalker. That's about to pop as well. Second gas finally goes down for the second gas. The second gas finally goes down for Whiteraw, so he's gonna be working off 2 gases here. And over on the other base for DarkForce, we are going to see that Speedlings be coming out here very shortly. Metabolic boost about 90% done, and he's going to be working on a second queen to start saturating his second base down here very shortly. Here it's about 50% done. Probe will come in here and is able to see this expansion that is almost completed there. Going to work into the base and just poke around, able to come in here and poke around as well. And he's going to be able to see that there's no tech buildings yet and no lair being produced yet for DarkForce. He does have 3 queens out, and that's about it at this point. We do see 3 gateways down for Darkload, so Whiteraw is going to 3 gateway, probably expansion here very shortly as well. And that's definitely what I expected was going to happen. And here comes the actual probe. He is saving some minerals, and he does spend a forward pylon here to make some sort of choke. And I'm sure we'll see 400 minerals in an expansion here very shortly as well. The 400 minerals is almost here, and will we see it or will we not? And we are going to see their warp gate units come out, or expansion is going to be warp gate units. And then the expansion. So here goes the expansion for Whiteraw, doing a very nice timing expansion. We'd have some Zerglings making its way across the map though, and he does get the forge up, so he's definitely making very secure here. Lots of sentries to deal with these Zerglings that are going to be coming up here, and he needs to be very careful not to get blocked off by a force field here. Here comes the push, and he is going to back away so he doesn't lose his Zerglings early on. Definitely does spot some information there. Does see the sentry count. Does see the Nexus building up, which is always good information to see. Only lost 1 Zergling to actually see that information. and he's going to come in here, poke in here once again, and back away right away once he starts getting hit. So we do have another gas going down and another cannon going down for White Raw, so trying to block this choke up as much as he can. Zergling's still trying to poke in here, and the gateway's going to come down to officially block this ramp off and give him a nice little choke. The worker count is going to be 30 to 37 in favor of DarkForce by about 7 probes, so not looking too shabby for him. And there goes the Stargate for White Raw, so he definitely is going to be going some sort of Phoenix play probably. He's going to start working on his rocks here. DarkForce is do his third expansion to kind of, you know, get these together here. I'm sure we'll see some spread of the creep here going that direction very shortly as well. He just doesn't have any energy because he's trying to get these injects going. There was a third queen out, I thought. Let's go here. There is going to be 2 queens out as well. So I swear there was 3 queens, but there's only 2. We are going to see Roach Speed being researched and also Burrow, and he does throw up an Evolution Chamber to start working on those attack 1 in armor possibly. And basically it's starting to look like a macro game for me from both players here. Both of them staying kind of away from each other, not really scouting. They do have one Zelnaga tower apiece though, and that's about it. But we'll have to wait and see what direction these guys take. He is going to Robotics facility down, White Raw is, so he's going to be going with some sort of Colossus or Immortals and trying to keep his army count up and keep those minerals down, but also work on his probes. He is building probes on both bases right now, so doing a great job. And if we look at the worker count, it is going to be 42 to 50 in favor of DarkForce still, and he's doing a good job keeping ahead of White Raw here. And he is working off 3 bases now, so definitely very good for him to be ahead. And look at that, like I was saying earlier, you want to spread that creep and combine these bases. That's exactly what he's doing a great job of it. It's almost connected here, and it just might take one more creep tumor to actually connect these, but he will be doing that very shortly. We do have a Voidway and a Phoenix coming down here to possibly do some harassment. He's going to be able to do possibly a little bit of damage, but there's 11 Hydralisks just popping, so perfect timing for those Hydralisks, and they're going to go right for the Phoenix. The Void Ray is going to be needing to get out of here before it dies, and it does get away before the Hydralisk can actually kill it, and the same thing with the Phoenix as well. So no damage was done from either side. Basically some energy was destroyed, or shields were destroyed, and some health, but that's about it on these units from White Raw. And Zergling is going to die at the actual Zelnaga, so he's going to be able to possibly force him to get the Zelnaga with some Hydralisk. And the Hydralisks are going to pick off this Void Ray probably. It's going to go down, so the Hydralisk did a good job picking that off. And we are going to see attack 1 going down for our Protoss player, and attack 1, and he also is getting Carapace as well for his Overlords once again. So possibly some Overlord drops. We'll have to wait and see. Interesting to see what he does with that. And there it is right there, the movement speed there. Unless he's just going to movement speed and not go for the actual transport feature. We'll have to wait and see. It's always nice to get the transport, or I'm sorry, the speed, just to deal with the Phoenixes that might come at you. And some more scouting going on for DarkForce is taking map control, seeing exactly what's going on around the map, and spreading that creep as much as he can, getting it up to almost the high yield of White Raw here. These Phoenixes trying not to die, and they're being shot at by the Hydralisk here, and they do back away. Extended thermal lance going down for White Raw as well, so doing a great job working on those upgrades and keeping them on tabs with that. And a third expansion is finally going to go down for White Raw. White Raw is kind of behind on this though. Worker count 55 to 68 now, so we do have DarkForce still in a commanding lead with the economy. And he's going to be destroying these rocks and possibly going for a 4th expansion here very shortly. And we are going to see a Spire almost completed here. Corruptor's going to be on the field before you know it to deal with these Phoenixes and the Colossus that are being produced. There's 2 on the field, and there we go. There's 3 Corruptors and more coming down on the field. So he's definitely making a great job getting the army he needs this game. Last game he didn't make any Corruptors, which was a very bad idea since there was about 4 or 5 Colossus on the field, and they shoo away his army last game. And he was behind on the actual economy, which was really bad. This game he's ahead in the economy, the army count by a lot, and he's also going to be just in great position here looking very fabulous at this point in the game. Right wall doesn't really have much on the field besides 3 Colossus, a Stalker, and a few Sentries. The army is going to be 152 to 123 is the army count. Definitely in favor of Dark Force, and he's almost at cap now, almost at 170 compared to 125 from White Raw here. So definitely looking pretty good for Dark Force. He might be able to get this army built pretty fast here. Working on attack 2 and also attack 1 for the air. So doing a great job. Even working on the upgrades for transportation for the overlords as well. Corruptor's coming out here to pick off these annoying little phoenixes that are going to be able to not be able to do much anymore. But we do have attack commencing from White Raw. This is a bad idea, I think, from White Raw to be coming up here, especially on the creep. Here we go. We have the engagement. The actual roaches coming up here. Force fields do go down, blocks off all the Hydralisks, and pretty good force fields. These roaches are going to be eaten away alive, and the Hydralisks are going to come in here and try to pick off. Not looking good actually for Dark Force. Dark Force finally getting his army in here, but he's losing a lot here since those force fields go down. But now it's going to be all the sentries dead. The only thing left is a bunch of Hydralisks are picking away all the roaches. The roaches are going to vanish, and we have Dark Force doing a great job here, pushing into the base, and the army is just starting to grow once again for Dark Force at 142 compared to 90 army strength here. And Dark Load White Raw is trying to get as many troops in here to deal with these Hydralisks as he can. More Colossus coming, or Corruptors coming in here, but here comes the Void Rays. That look, all those Corruptors though, not looking good for White Raw at all. And we might see a GG here after this push from Dark Force. And he is throwing some cannons up to try to defend this as much as he can, but roaches and Hydralisks are going to be too much for Dark Load White Raw, and White Raw is going to go down in game number 2. It is going to be 1-1 now, but I'm going to leave it at that because the last game was only like a 7-minute game. I didn't see who won it, but not really that entertaining. I'm sure it was some sort of cheese. But we're going to leave it at 1-1 just because they were 2 exciting games between these 2 players. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys will keep on watching my replays, and you guys come back next time. You hear? Oh, yeah, that was pretty corny. But anyways, hope you can keep on watching. Thanks.